I'm going to do my best to try to do this. I'm going to have to talk fast to get it in 3 minutes to answer this. So, I was a young LAPD officer, relatively young, working in the projects in Southeast Los Angeles. Very violent time, I'm talking about the 80s and 90s. And I had a 75-mile drive to work, and my routine was to just haul ass. And, I worked at night, graveyard hours, you would call them. And I would bust all kinds of gangster rap to get psyched up to go face down all these. Everybody was armed and shooting, and it was a bloodbath in those years. And I'm driving westbound on the 10 freeway, and I got my music just pumping. And I had been a former paratrooper where I mocked people that believed in Jesus. I was just literally used to pray that my chute wouldn't open when I jump out of the plane. People thought I was nuts. I'd put a death card in my helmet, just mocking Jesus. Didn't believe in anything. And as I'm driving along, doing about 75, 80 miles an hour, everything faded out. And I mean, it used to be for years, I couldn't tell the story without tears flowing. I've gotten that under control now, but something took over. I wasn't seeing, I wasn't hearing, I wasn't feeling. I literally was absorbing a message, not with my brain or my ears or anything. It was coming through my molecules. And it was a very long message that essentially that told me all of the reasons why Jesus died for my sins and why it's very important that I acknowledge that. It wasn't in any language that we understand. It was more of an understanding. And I felt like my body was electrified, like literally like I was a piece of electricity. And at the last part of the message was, you're not going to remember most of this in the human form. I'm not going to remember it, but I will absorb it. And the one thing that I was told that I would remember was that I needed to read the Bible. I had never touched a Bible. I bought a Bible the next day after work that day. I still have it, but that the Bible was the message that would guide me. And all of a sudden, everything comes back into focus. I must be 12, 13 miles down the 10 freeway, still doing, 75, 80 miles an hour with Easy-E busting, fuck the police or whatever the song was. And that electricity, it took about a week to dissipate. Each morning I'd wake up and it would be less. I mean, I told my wife, I was in tears. There's no way. People say, well, did God talk to you? And I'm going to say yes. There's no question in my mind. And it was at that moment that it changed everything in my life. I was a guy that was a total science, non-believer in faith. And I hope this answers that a little bit. It's a little bit more to it, but I'm out of time.